little bit more. I have just arrived. Time for me to thrive. I feel alive. I feel alive. Time for me to thrive. I have just arrived. Time for me to thrive. Islam.
Islam. Islam. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Just doing some last minute examples. There we go. Can you see me and hear me fine?
I can see and hear you fine, thank you.
Okay, cool.
All right, so how was your day? We have Noble Antoine Bay here on Shannon Status Gets Corrected every, Monday at 7
Yep.
p.m. PST. We'll be talking about status correction and the different steps that you need to take to do so. Let's go ahead and get started. You had a good day, you said?
Indeed, it was a busy day traveling from Dallas to Houston jurisdiction. So yeah, it was quite an eventful day for me. Every day is a good day, no matter good or bad, it's gonna be a good day for me.
Absolutely, I agree. All right. Well, my name is Shannon. I am the host of Shannon Rise Live. I also made that beautiful song that you just heard, and I'm an all-around truth seeker. So I wanted to connect with Antoine Bay and just kind of get an understanding of what status correction is. And the first step that we're going to talk about is proclaiming nationality. So if you can give a brief introduction of yourself and who you are and all of those things.
Indeed. Well, I'm Noble Antoine Bay, Moorish American Muslim, American National, member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Incorporated. I've been nationalized for maybe 6 years. I've been studying Moorish science for about 8 years. Been a part of the Temple, Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated since about 2020. During my experiences of studying Moorish science, I've learned a lot. I've unlearned a lot. I have experienced a lot, from everything from courtrooms to being stopped, pulled over, to status correction, different temples, different body politics, different groups with the Moorish movement. I was a part of the Moorish American Consulate, a couple of different Moorish Science Temples of America, a few more Moorish body politics. My agenda is unity between the Moorish and non-Moorish, just because of there's a lot of lack of that going on. a lot of people it's on an assumption when they come into the Moorish science that it is unity, and not to say that it doesn't exist, but it might not be what people expect. It wasn't what I expected, but that's why I'm here to do my part and not be a complainer, but to you know do my part in fixing the problem. You know.
Okay.
So my Instagram is noble_Antoine_Bay. We have the Moorish Science Temple in the Texas jurisdiction, near the Texas jurisdiction. We just started. We had a meeting yesterday. We had about 23 people proclaim. Shannon, who's you next.
Yes, I was driving during that time, but I tried to be there as much as possible.
the, we appreciate that. Um, so we'll be having meetings for anybody looking to join every Friday. We're working on Sunday meetings as well, and also a Patreon to help Moors out with nationality procedures. Right now, we have a website where you can go sign up just temporary right now. We will be probably changing it in the near future, in the next couple months, but right now, you go to zodiactemple.org. You can also reach me at noble_Antoine_Bay at Instagram. There's a lot of great things coming. So that's pretty much it with me.
Right. Thank you for that excellent breakdown of who you are and how you maneuver. Okay, so Proclamation of Nationality. Before I kind of get started with all that, I have some questions. So what is nationality?
Okay, that's a great question. I want to reference Black's Law Dictionary to get a clear definition of what nationality is.
Okay.
This wonderful light back here. I always gotta make sure that flag. This represents your nationality right here. This flag.
Yeah.
So we go in Black's Law Dictionary.
I love that you have that, by the way. It's like really an expensive dictionary to acquire, so.
Yeah, the knowledge and everything. They try to hide from us. There's books that cost more than people's houses and mansions out here. You
Wow.
can get books in like the Library of Alexandria in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
I got some expensive books in there. But yeah, this Black's Law Dictionary is the fifth edition. See that? We'll be reading out of that today. And if you get a Black's Law Dictionary, you want to get 4th, 5th, or 6th. The first 3 versions doesn't have a lot of the definitions, and then after the 6th edition, it's pretty much get watered down. I do suggest to get multiple dictionaries, not just one.
Uh-huh.
Bovier's, a couple of them. Barron's is a good one. Barron's, Bovier's, Black's Law. And also you want to get your 1828 Webster's. You want to get your metaphysical Bible dictionaries. That's just the basis of your study. You're going to need that if you plan on being a national. You're going to have to unlearn all the words you think you know and relearn all the words. Indeed.
Okay.
So, like a word like nationality, we're going to go in. So, nationality, out of Black's Law Dictionary, page part of the body 923, reads, that quality or character which arises from the act of a person's belonging to a nation or state. So, just off that first sentence, it's a quality of character which arises when you belong to a nation or state. So the quality and the character would be what you say, like you qualify. Your quality is how do you qualify? You know, you qualify by birth and blood.
Okay.
So by your blood determines your nationality and your birthplace. Nationality um, is belonging to a nation, and we'll get into that too. Finish this definition. It says nationality determines the political status of the individual, especially with reference to allegiance. It's still. Sorry about that. Pardon. There we go. All right. So take the case off. I don't think I don't think it's not the case. It's just a stick.
Well, it's good to see all his books and stuff that he reads.
Oh yeah, right. You get to see the library. I'm fixing up everything. See the library.
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed.
What's up,
Yes.
Chloe? What's up, Trey Legend? We appreciate you being here.
Okay, there we go. Hopefully that helps. I got it on a tripod, so
Got
pardon the equipment.
it's okay. Can a person? So question just arose, and we can take them after, or if you want to take them now, that's up to you. But they asked,
Well, yeah, we can take it now if you want.
okay, can a person belong to more than one nation at a time?
Well, we have to look what a nation is. A nation is a government. So, can you pledge allegiance to more than one government at one time? That would involve dual citizenship. Some governments do allow that, but when you talk about a free national government, that means that you're part of a nation or everyone has the same nationality. So when you are part of that type of government, then you will not have allegiance in two separate nations. But in like say like United States have dual citizenship. So you actually are part of two nations at one time. So you a U.S. citizen and then turn around you a state resident. So those are two citizenships. So that's dual citizenship in itself. So it does exist. Dual citizenship or being part of two nations does exist, but that's not how you should move. If that can answer the question, you should be a part of a free national government, and that would be your nation.
All right, thank you. Okay, and did we go over what a nationality is? Did we get through all of that?
No.
Okay.
So I'll finish it now. Nationality determines the political status of the individual, especially with reference to allegiance. While domicile determines his civil status, nationality arises either by birth or naturalization. So, like I was saying, nationality, when you say what is nationality, nationality is your political and civil status, and it determines your political and civil status. So, when we talk about status correction in itself, you're talking about nationality. You can't really correct the status until you have proclaimed a nationality. That's the gist of a status correction is the nationality part. Paperwork is just evidence of giving notice of your status or your standing. So a lot of times people think they are doing a status correction just because the paperwork, but they don't belong to any government. They don't have pledged allegiance to any nation, any state. So if you don't have allegiance to any state, by default you're a refugee. So a refugee is someone who abandons their country or abandons their government. So this right here is our empire. This Moroccan flag represents a government. It represents ancient government at that. that we are tied to. So when you don't proclaim your nationality, going to black status, African American, Latino, etc., you are a refugee or you are subject by default of the United States. So you are a U.S. citizen once again.
Mm.
So when you say what is nationality, nationality is status. Nationality is nobility. Being when if you look up the definition of nobility, it means uh, basically your inheritance by bloodline. Um, so our inheritance is our estate. You inherit the land through your blood. The land cannot be sold. So when you talk about state versus like a country or people, people are under the assumption that state means the land, and state does not mean land. State means the government from which you are under their jurisdiction. Um, a lot of people have lost their nationality. If you look at 8 USC 1503, deals with the loss of nationality. So that's United States codes. It tells you that, by your certain performance of your acts, you actually can lose your nationality. And that's what our people have done. They have lost their nationality and have no nationality. Therefore, they have no rights and no nobility. They have no status, no standing when they go to court. Just to name a few things what nationality is. Islam.
Islam. Great. Thank you. Okay, so how do I find out what my nationality?
That's a great question. Okay, if you say if you don't know where your nationality is, you're confused about it. The first thing we like to have people do is a genealogy. That's a good way for you to determine your roots, where you come from. A lot of people do DNA companies and like DNA tests. DNA tests have proven to be not accurate due to the fact of the method of they pulling your DNA. So a lot of people go into like the DNA ancestry and these different types of companies, and all they doing is using your DNA versus another customer they might have in Africa or somewhere. So it might say you're a part of this nation, you African, you Asian. It might have like 10 different things. But one thing you have to know is the maps. You have a difference between a political map and a regular geography map. So the political maps is what we deal with today. The political maps say Africa, America, Asia. None of these are the real names of these continents. So if you do a DNA test, you have to know geography. You have to know history to find out your true birthplace, where your people really come from. So what we do is we just do genealogies. I'll pull up the old records of your families, see what exactly what tribes or what area they come from is all in a census record. So ever since the census and different records like public records, criminal records, marriage records, birth certificates, things like that can reveal even what part of the country your people started from. A lot of Americans that's here, or North Americans, I should say, all know that their great grandparents were somewhat Indian or mixed with an Indian or some sort like that. So you want to start there, do a genealogy, see exactly what tribe they come from. The tribes are not bloodlines. You have to understand that a tribe is just a jurisdiction of a government that we anciently held. They had constitutions, they had treaties, and a lot of other political structure. So you want to see what jurisdiction you come from, but and at the end of the day, everybody's pretty much a Moor or Muslim. Um, there's only two groups of people in this world. That's the human race and the non-human race. And it may be hard for a lot of people to believe, but it's hybrid humans, it's just the truth. There's no slander to them. I have nothing against them, but it's just the truth that, you have troglodytes. and then you have ones like us with melanin. So you have non-melanin and melanin people, or human and non-human people. So when you talk about what's a Moor or Muslim, you're just talking about human beings. You know, um, so another thing you want to do is look up your surname. So your last name, everybody's last name is a surname that comes from pretty much the Catholic Roman Empire. So that's another research you want to do. Uh, Look up your surname. Just type in your last name and put surname right behind it. And you'll pull up some great results. My surname, I traced it back to Saint David. I'm sorry, in Europe. You look up his story. He was Morisco, converted into the Catholic Roman Empire, under the Spanish Inquisition. So you just want to look up the history of what happened in Europe, Spain, Al Andalusia, what they call Spain. Look up the history of that, and then you'll be able to see a lot where your history ties in right here in America with what happened over there. So to find like what your nationality is, you're just really looking up your history, your people. Um, North Americans, we pretty much the only ones don't have nationalities. When you go outside of North America, or America, period, like Africa, a lot of Africans have nationalities. You go to Africa and they don't necessarily identify as African. That's one clue that they proclaim nationality. They might say I'm Nigerian, or from the Congo or something like that, but they have nationalities. They are named after their land and the government they tied to, and everybody has the same nationality in their government. So that's what you would consider free national government. Um, so that's just quick ways you can find your nationality.
Thank you. Um, what is the purpose of proclaiming your nationality?
That's a great question. The purpose of claiming the nationality. Okay, first of all, if you have no nationality, in law, you are, it's a law term for you. It's called civil or mortuus in the Black's Law Dictionary. Civil or mortuus means you are civilly dead. So those without nationality have no standing, no rights. You might think you have rights until you're in a court of law, and then you see that you get railroaded. You know, so the purpose of nationality is a reversion of that. Is reversion of your rights, to preserve your rights. A reversion of your estate. Your estate is part of your rights. Um, you also, when you reserving the rights, you also are enforcing your birthrights. So we all have birthrights. So the purpose of nationality is to restore your birthrights, things that you was born with that has been taken from you. Um, a lot of us don't know that the 14th Amendment stripped us of our nationalities. It created a legal fiction. It was nowhere in history where there's a group of people called U.S. citizens. So right there, there's nothing ancient about being a U.S. citizen. So it detaches you from all your ancestors. So what the purpose of nationality is to tie you to your ancestors, your bloodline, your consanguinity, um, and to also, like I say, reverse your estate and reserve your rights. Islam.
Islam. All right, thank you. Um, how do you proclaim your nationality? Like, what are the steps for that?
Oh, that's a great question. Now, um, there's two things to proclaiming a nationality. First is to declare your nationality and then proclaim it. So a declaration of nationality or declare your nationality is simple as coming to understanding, researching your history, doing your genealogy, things like that. Um, that is actually a declaration in itself. Um, then you want to declare that with a government, as far as the Moorish Science Temple of America.
I'll be right back. Hold on one second.
Okay. I'll save it.
Sorry about that. I'm taking care of my uncle right now, so I just needed to check on him.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's understandable. That's fully understandable.
Okay, so we were at how do you proclaim your nationality once you
Okay.
know?
Okay. Okay. How do you proclaim a nationality? So it's in two steps, two parts. One is a declaration, and the second is a proclamation. Don't do that on. All right, we should be. Okay. The declaration, like I was saying, is pretty much if you come into the understanding of who you are, declaring within yourself, and then coming into a temple, which is a body politic, and then declaring that and proclaiming that with us. Um, so according to Act 6 of our Moorish Science Temple Divine Constitution, I don't know if you see that.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna read Act 6 uh, of the Constitution dealing with proclaiming nationality and Declaration of Nationality. Act 6, Salvation, Allah, Unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality in the divine creed that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So that's axis of our Constitution. Pretty much gives you instructions on how to proclaim that nationality. So first couple words it says with us. So you come into the temple and proclaim your nationality with us. It has to be known amongst your own peers, your own people. Then that's a declaration to proclaim, but then you want to proclaim it to foreign agencies that's assuming or usurping our jurisdiction. So with that, it's two simple steps we do. Um, a lot of people know about the 7 locations, sending out to the 7 locations. That is a training exercise that a lot of Moors do teach to teach you how to proclaim, as far as giving notices to different individuals. Because the proclamation of your nationality is like an ongoing thing. I mean, you've been a U.S. citizen for 30 years, so it might take you 30 years of proclaiming because you have to always correct records. You have to correct status, or anybody have you, not corrected or have you under wrong status. You're gonna have to correct that. So the easiest way to do it is with the newspaper. You can actually take the once we give you affidavit of a name correction and judicial notice, you can file these things with your local newspaper in your state for a period of 30 days. And what they'll do is give you back an affidavit saying that you proclaim or you filed in a newspaper, whatever verbiage you filed. So that affidavit can use as evidence of public notice. So a proclamation simply means public notice. So it's two ways we do public notice. Some find it's an even cheaper way to do public notice because a newspaper can get kind of expensive, couple $100 you spend. So it's a cheaper way, like say if you got an open case or you got a case pending or something like that in the county, you can even file your nationality proclamation documents with the county get that certified copy, get that seal stamped by the court clerk, and then that would be considered public notice as well. That's the free and easiest way. Another way is that you go to your recorder deeds. So every county has a recorded deeds where you record deeds and titles and things that deals with real estate. So you will file there because your proclamation is about your estate. So this is reversion of your estate. So you will file it with the recorded deeds. So those are three ways we do it on a public level. Um, and that's outside of the 7 locations, like giving it to Washington, D.C. We notify the Department of States. We notify Social Security offices. We notify the OMB office, Office of Management, whatever the B stand for. I can't think of it right now. But we give notices to 7 locations. I gave a notice. I got like a box of notices that I gave out. Let me show you what my notices look like right fast if you got a quick second. So this is like a box of notices that I'll be giving out. Let me just show you a few of them. So when you're giving out notices, you're gonna give out these green cards. So I have
Put it up
maybe
a little bit more. Put it up to the, yeah. Okay. And where do you get those from?
you just go to your local post office. They're free. They certified mail return receipt green cards.
Okay.
So these in itself is a contract agreement because somebody has to sign for it. Some of these you'll see somebody sign for it. Let me show you the one I gave to the White House. So when they sign for it, they consider notice serve. The ancient maxim is notice to the agent is notice to the principal. So if you give notice to, say, like the clerk at the desk, that's notice to everybody under that corporation, that principal, that government. So this would be your proof that holds up in court. This is the one I gave to the White House when Donald Trump was in office. When I sent out my proclamation papers, you see a stamp with, received by. Look it up on you can look it up on the U.S. Post Office website. And if you don't get this back, you can go up to the post office and tell them, hey, I got my tracking number. I didn't receive my return receipt. And they give you an alternative return receipt. So these return receipts are very, very important in the process of giving notice or proclaiming your nationality. You want to just go get you a handful of these. They're free at the post office. And just you fill them out with who names it's supposed to go to. You'll put your certified mail sticker right there. You put your return address on there. I don't want to show that too much of my return address. Lie. But that's an old address, so I don't matter. But yeah, you want to just give notice. We don't ask for permission. It's not a permission thing. You have birthrights. So you just give a notice, and then this is proof of your notice. Which you see, I got plenty of proof of notifying these people who I was. So a lot of people think when you just get us out, you're going to go to jail and things. No, it's not true. I gave this out to the White House. They know exactly who I am. So, yeah, that's how you proclaim your nationality.
Okay, so with those, is it attached to any other document or you just send them out?
Yeah, you just send out, with a document, it's about, altogether about 8 pages. And it's on legal size paper, 8 by 14. I think I got mine's, oh yeah, I got mine's handy right here. So it looks like this right here. This is the one with the name correction.
Mm-hmm.
See the government seal on there. You want to get two witnesses on yours to fingerprint it with your red thumb ink, and then you want to sign in red with two witnesses. They don't necessarily have to be proclaimed, but you do want two melanated people, Morris. But any two witnesses can serve. Be real, because it's common law to have two or more witnesses. So if you want to add more witnesses, you can. The more witnesses, the better. Um, you can either you can use that in any situations where you're trying to say, okay, you're not who you say you are. You first time coming up with this. You don't want to wait till you get into a case like most people do, or get into some trouble and then try to proclaim your nationality, because then it looks like you're trying to avoid conviction or something like that. So you want to be proactive, not reactive. So we try to get everybody to proclaim now before something happens. And then when it happens, you can use these documents as evidence of who you are. You
Okay.
know.
When it comes to the current economic state, why is it so important to proclaim your nationality?
Oh, because of the current economic state right now, it's the great currency resets coming, right? So your nationality determines your political and civil status. Civil deals with um economics in a way, you know. So when you proclaim your nationality, you are changing yourself from a debtor of the United States to a secured creditor of the United States. So being a secured creditor of the United States is a financial, commercial position, a civil position, civil status. Um, so that civil status determines how you pay bills, far as understanding, you have to have the understanding too, but how you pay bills, how you receive money, how you spend your money, how you get taxed. So as a Moorish American, we don't pay taxes. We don't have to pay sales tax. When we go to the stores, we exempt if we choose to be. What else? Moving as a secured creditor is important because as a secured creditor, you're not liable to be surety for the straw man. A lot of people know about the straw man, heard about the straw man. So proclaiming nationality is taking control over that straw man and contracting as a creditor instead of contracting as a debtor, because a debtor can't own anything, can't even pay bills with a bill. So a lot of people know about the discharging, accept value, conditional acceptance value processes. So these are the things that you are able to execute once you proclaim the nationality on the financial side. Then, as well as proclaiming nationality, coming with a government like we working on establishing our own bank. You know, so with your own bank, it's a financial institution. You can issue credit, bonds. You can own things. You know, transfer assets, trust funds. It's a lot of benefits to having your own bank as a people. Because the banks that we banking with right now, like the Federal Reserve banks, are acting as the government and controlling our land right now. So it's very important that once you correct your status, you also correcting your financial status, which they call civil status. You know, and that's very important to this currency reset that's coming, because right now if you go on usdebtclock.org, usdebtclock.org. They have the U.S. national debt, I believe, like somewhere in the trillions of billions. But right next to that, they actually have the depth of how much each U.S. citizen owes. So I think it's at like 70K right now.
Oh, shit.
Um,
Excuse my
yeah,
language. Sorry. I just saw just a bunch of numbers and it's just
yeah,
like going up and up and up and up and up.
yeah, indeed. Yeah, those are live numbers on that website. Um, So they're showing you how much each U.S. citizen actually owes the U.S. government. It's like 70K right now. So what happens is the United States is being foreclosed by the other nations. So they're placing the debt on their citizens, which is on the corporations. Um, that way they don't are not liable for the debt. So that's the main reason why on the financial side you want to proclaim your nationality, because they placing this debt on you, and they gonna come foreclose on all your assets, everything you thought you owned or thought you controlled. If you have no nationality, they're gonna come foreclose on that because you owe them.
Oh, we're glad we're getting this going now. Yeah, definitely don't wait on this. And it's not about a fear thing. It's just about what the facts are. And we're just giving you the facts about, what our current state of the situation is. So definitely make sure you guys are paying attention here. And I'm just bringing this to you guys because I care and I care about myself. I love myself, my daughter. I love my people. It's very important. So I'm going to have some water real quick. Okay. Speaking of your children, when you proclaim your nationality, do you need to do the same thing for your children, and how does that?
The parents, according to nationality, international law, the parents' nationality determines their children's nationality. So when you proclaim your nationality, you correct.
Okay.
Real quick second, I just got
Just
an
for a
alert,
second.
child abduction alert.
Oh, really interesting.
We just talking about children, and look, child's been abducted. Ain't that something?
Tapped in, huh?
Yeah, ain't no strange happenings. So you definitely need to proclaim that nationality, get with the government to protect these babies for sure.
So if their father, per se, like isn't, proclaiming the Moorish nationality, um, how does that work?
You pretty much you should have both parents, but if one parent has custody of the child and they proclaim, then the child will be all right because it's about how you contract with that child after that, like far as registering for school, uh, doctor's visits and things like that. So you would just have to correct the records. It's okay. You can do an affidavit for your child of a name correction, like the one I just showed you. And when you have like school, like when I had to register my son in school one time, I had to just do that, like give him the affidavit, let him know we reserving our rights. And even though his mom didn't proclaim nationality, I had custody, so I was able to, enforce that for my son because you speak for your children. They minor, so they don't have the ability to contract. So when you contract them for your children, you just always reserve their rights. So it basically depends on who doing a contract for the child at that time.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Um, let's see. What resources do I need in order to complete the proclamation?
Okay, we have some online classes to help people along the way. We forming some with Moorish Science Temple of America, and then we also have Moors outside of Moorish Science Temple of America who have classes to help with the nationality and different processes. So me, I try to use all the resources that's available out there. So one great resource my brother Abdullah Bey has called academyofprovidence.org. And that's online classes to educate you on, international laws and more. What does it mean? What does it look like? Right now, they actually offering some free classes and paid classes, so you can go on that now and get a 12-week free class with them. Webinar pre-recorded already. You can take on your own leisure. That's a great resource for the people, especially when you talk about educating yourself about nationality the correct way as a Moor. Also, you just want to visit your local temple. You want to attend the meetings with your local temple. every Friday, 7 p.m. Most temples. I don't know if they have them in all jurisdictions, but we do. We are in a lot of major cities. Um, in Texas, I'm helping forming a temple out here in Texas. So that's very important. It's being a part of the temple and being a part of the government or whatever body politic you decide to join. But it's that's the most critical thing you can do as a resource is just connecting with the people, and we are each other's resources at the end of the day. But yeah, it is a lot of websites to educate you on nationality out here and things like that. On the Moorish Science Temple, a separate body politic that I'm affiliated with, they have a class that's coming in January. It's only in January to it's 3 month class, so January, February, March is over, and it's about $150, and it's a great class that started. I'll be posting that, sharing that when that time comes. Everybody that's with me in our temple, we are instructing them to take these classes to further them along with me trying to form classes. And well, it's just about you really just educating yourself, having the correct books and things like that, knowing what websites, the phone apps we use to educate ourselves, like Edamon Online, just to teach you etymology of certain words. Marcus Garvey even told you like to always carry a dictionary, things like that, because proclamation, status correction, you might get challenged a lot. You might see a word or something you have to educate yourself on. You might have a conversation with somebody. So you always want to make sure you have your tools, which you call resources, but the tools you're gonna need for sure, just to empower your mind, and defend your nationality. So the final steps with proclaiming nationality after you say put in the newspaper, joining politics, is receiving your nationality card. We have a private nationality card with the Moorish Science Temple of America that allows you membership inside the Moorish Science Temple of America. And then myself, I use a public card, a loyal Moorish American nationality card as well. I'll show you what those look like. And I take them anywhere I go, I'm using my card. So this is the Moorish Science Temple of America card. See that?
Put it a little closer. Okay.
Okay. That's a private card. And this is the public card we use. I want to show my address and everything. I just realized I got all my information on it. I covered it up. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still slides right there. But yeah, that's the private and the public. So once you receive these cards, and you making your meetings, that is the final steps.
Okay. Thank you. And when I fill out paperwork, what nationality or region do I write down in contrast to the United States?
So that's a great question. That goes back to the definition of state. State is a government controlling a certain territory or occupying a territory. So our state is the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Okay.
So you can actually put that down when it says country.
Looks like we've run into a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm sure he'll be back. If not, we've come to the final question. So he was saying to write Moorish Science Temple. And looks like he left. And then we are going to wait just a little bit and see if he's able to join back.
Okay, I'm back.
You are back.
You
Is
kicked me out. Yeah, it's one to kick me out. I thought it kicked you out. Kicked me out.
no, they could never do that on my platform.
You got
uh,
me out of there.
so you were saying to put Moorish Science Temple in there um, when you're, signing any contracts or anything like that.
Yeah, indeed. Because the state is your government, is a body politic that's occupying a territory. So they're not actually with territory. They're actually with state, which is a legalese. Or they actually with country, which means government. Country doesn't mean territory either. So your country would be actually Morocco. That's the jurisdiction that you actually are under. The alliance that you have to the government, Moroccan government, which is your ancient government. The kingdom of Morocco is just that, a kingdom. Um, it's just a political structure. It's a jurisdiction. That's in North Africa that they call the kingdom of Morocco. But that's a jurisdiction. Um, this is the Moroccan Empire. So when you say country, you definitely can put Morocco.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. Okay, so what is the next step once I do proclaim my nationality?
Oh, that's a great question too. Your next step you want to do after you proclaim your nationality, you get your identification cards. You want to set up your trust and do estate planning. That's very critical to status. Also, correcting your IDs if you do choose to keep a driver's license, your CDL driver, something like that. For CDL drivers, a quick tip: you can do a non-domicile CDL, which takes you out of the state jurisdiction. You can look that up, non-domicile CDL, with the Department of Motor Vehicles. But
So,
you want to correct your status and records and do estate planning.
okay.
Um, you can even you can go back and try to clean up your criminal record. You can control your straw per se, so you can definitely correct those records. Um, you know, you wanna reflect that you are Moorish American in all your records. So after you proclaim the nationality, then it's about just moving as a national. And that's pretty much moving through your trust, through everything, moving at a higher level, creating your trust, building up the trust, as far as funding your trust with assets, transferring your assets to your trust. You want to take everything that's been registered to the United States out of their registry, register your government through your own trust. So that's part of what I mean, correcting the records. So it's not just about correcting the name, but you want to correct all your records. So anything that's under United States jurisdiction that has you as a United States citizen, you want to go ahead after proclaiming your nationality and go ahead and correct all those records.
Yeah, the question for next week is how do you find all those records?
All right, I'm gonna write that down.
Yes, please. Um, all right. I'm not sure if anyone has any questions. I just wanted to leave a little bit of time um, for questions from the audience. If not, obviously, I thank you so much for your time. I know you have so many things to do and so much to busy yourself with as far as work when it comes to building the government and all of that. So I completely appreciate your time and your mentorship and all of that.
It's my pleasure.
Someone asked, what about the IDP?
The IDP, what is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh no, we have to find out what that is.
We'll just we'll parking lot that question.
Yeah, maybe we can answer that in the inbox, something like that.
Yes, you can always DM. um, and ask those questions as well. Just gonna give it a little bit more time. I know we had a lot of questions earlier from someone that was in the comments, but
Well, let me give you some key things to look towards nationality, understand how it's been taken from you and how you lost your nationality. Because to
you said
proclaim your nationality is definitely something you must do because you have lost your nationality. And how they did that, you want to look at what is a race. Look at the definition of a race. Uh, when we talk about filling out applications, it don't ask you necessarily nationality, it asks you ethnic group or race. A race means an ethnic stock. It's a stock, like on the stock market. It's a commodity, chattel paper. So that's something you want to look up. You also want to look up what is the definition of black. The definition of black versus definition of a Moor. Or look up. I just posted on my Instagram story an old definition I ran to. Go to the etymology of Negro. Look up what Negro mean and etymology. So just want to get some key tools so you can start to understand your nationalities and just look through the books because they say if you want to hide something, put it in a book. And they very much intended on that pun, keeping that alive. And it's proven to be true. A lot of things are hidden in these books. So open up the books if you really want to understand nationality.
okay. And I guess he said international driver's permit. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, the international driver's permit. Okay, what was the question about that?
It
What
just
is
said
it?
about it.
Well, an international driver's permit is a form of a CDL. It's been going around. People have been getting the international driver's permit. They do allow you to get that. It doesn't work independently without a driver's license. You have to have a driver's license. But it's pretty much a CDL you can use outside of your jurisdiction or outside of like if we Moroccans, we Moors. So we contract the United States or we go to Asia somewhere, you can use an international driver's permit to still do business in those jurisdictions. Uh, it doesn't reserve your rights as a traveler. Uh, Most people confuse driving with traveling. It's not the same. To travel means that you are not moving commercially. You're not under contract. You're not getting paid to operate a vehicle or a motor vehicle or any equipment. To travel means that you're just going from one destination to the other destination, and you have a right to do that. You know, that's under your First Amendment and under the Constitution for the United States. And also, we have international laws and treaties to protect your right to travel. So you want to look in the treaties when you're looking at international rights to travel from state to state because more as we have treaties with every nation. So whatever jurisdiction you're in, you can just simply use the treaty, invoke the treaty for your protection and for the right to travel. The IDP is cool if you are a CDL driver, but if you're not a CDL driver, there's no need to have one. That's just my take on it.
And what's a CDL driver?
Oh, commercial driver license. So that would be somebody who drive 18 wheelers, the big trucks and things like that. Commercial buses and things like that.
Okay. Someone said, I just want to get this before it goes away. How do you handle car insurance anymore?
Car insurance as a more going forward, we need to have our own government, our own departments. If you look up car insurance companies are owned by the state. For instance, Geico stands for Government Employees Insurance Company. So Geico is a government insured company. So these insurance companies are just controlled by the state to really extort you for your funds. To be real, it is methods Moors do use as far as backing their cars about bond. So you can make an auto bond. to insure your car. But the main thing is forming your own government, forming this government, coming a part of government, and you won't need car insurance. Now you should have you should be financially responsible just in case of a car accident. You should be able to cover the cost of someone else, damages that you might have caused. But car insurance should not be a requirement. Car insurance, any business have to have insurance. So unless you're in business, you don't need insurance. That makes sense. So how we handle car insurance is more is we register everything to our own government first of all. So you have to take your car, your motor vehicle, your conveyance out of their jurisdiction by registering to your own government. Because a lot of more is to slap a bond on their car or slap some type of license plate, a loaded license plate on their car. That does not change the jurisdiction of your conveyance. What change the jurisdiction of your conveyance is registration. When you register your vehicle with the Department of Motor Vehicles, you have appointed them as trustees and have given them legal title of your conveyance. So the main thing you want to do is register that with your own government, and that'll be through your trust. It's a couple of methods you can use when you talk about insurance. But first thing is just educating yourself on insurance, what it is and what it is not, and who owns these insurance companies, and how do you pretty much navigate with in a system and learn how to contract.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, someone was asking, how do you insure yourself? Did you kind of go over that?
What do you mean by insure yourself? As far as life insurance?
I think they're talking about like, actually, I don't know. Someone said you can insure yourself, and then how do you insure yourself? And then someone said your own trust. Auto insurance.
Okay. Maybe they need to give a class on that one. Yeah, I don't know what they mean by insure yourself, but I mean, of course, you insure yourself through life insurance, but we know that those things are, those things create bonds as well, fraudulent artificial bonds and instruments that they use for monetizing. So, the main thing we do to ensure our trust is silver. We back it by silver and assets. Um, when you talk about insure yourself, insurance is like having funds in case of emergency. So uh, I don't know what they mean by insure yourself. Only way I know to do that is through life insurance and buying silver and things like that, or having your own reserve and creating your own bank, your own private banking. Um, Outside of that, maybe they can educate me on that.
All right, thank you. And then we have, when I set up the foreign trust, do I need to call the IRS, or faxing in the forms will do?
Oh, that's a good question. When you setting up that 98 number and getting that EIN number for your foreign trust, the IRS do give you a little hassle when you call them. If you versed in the law, it's not that hard to call them. They do try to play games with you if you can get the 98 number the same day if you call them. But if you fax it, you don't have to speak to no one. You can just simply do the application, get the 98 number that way. It takes about a little longer, a couple of weeks maybe. But you can do either way. It's just on you. What's more comfortable for you?
Okay, thank you. Can you discharge debt using this process?
What process? Oh,
Um,
well, I'm gonna say, okay, when you proclaim nationality, a lot of people think you gotta file a UCC to discharge debt. That is false. You don't have to file a UCC to discharge debt. That's a Moorish American. U.S. citizens, refugees, U.S. nationals, all those, colorable titles, you probably have to go through extra steps and things like that to discharge debt. But you don't have to file discharge debt without filing anything. Discharging debt is the thing you have to understand. It's not paperwork. Discharging debt, first of all, start in your mind. Do you know what is debt? Debt is an obligation. Most people feel obligated. Debt is also credit. Most people don't know that. So you have unlimited credits through the straw man, the birth certificate, things like that. But the thing is this, another side of it is that you are not obligated to these debts. So when you say, does this process discharge debt? Well, the only thing you have to do to discharge debt is to simply send them a letter or affidavit. That's just that easy. So it's more of you probably have to study more, understand more how to discharge debt and what it really is before you try a procedure. Because it's a lot of ways to skin a cat. Some people use a self-evaluation method. Some people use conditional self-evaluation method. So it's all about which method fits which situation and what's best for you, and how much do you know how to use these procedures the correct way.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. I don't know if we have any more questions. It is 8:08. Love that number. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for being here. This has been Shannon's Status Gets Corrected with Noble and Sanjay. And we will be back next week on Mondays, every Monday until I get it.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you for having me. Peace, love. I leave in love and light.
Love
Islam.
and light, Islam. All right, guys. Well, that was a lot of information. I'm definitely going to rewatch this video and take some notes. I hope you were taking notes as well. I'm definitely saving this so you guys can take a look at it later. And you guys have a blessed evening. Islam.